Returning to my Coin Lady channel, I am pleased to see you again. Significant announcements made today. Regarding Ripple and the SEC, I perceive a complete strategy flip, but I'm not sure if everyone else does. In case you missed it, the SEC revised its complaint against Binance to include, guess what? The tokens and cryptocurrencies themselves. While the products themselves are not securities, the manner in which Binance occasionally offers them for sale is. The contract that fits in nicely with the Ripple court case's decision is this one. There may not be much motivation for the SEC to request further funding for such case. Here is what it came up with after I put it through GPT-01, the most cutting-edge AI currently available. The SEC appears to be changing its emphasis from classifying tokens as securities to the manner in which they are sold, as demonstrated in the amended complaint against Binance and the Ripple case, where it was determined that XRP is not inherently a security but that certain methods of its sales constitute an unregistered securities offering. This congruence raises the enormous possibility that the SEC is prepared to accept the Ripple ruling and forego any further litigation against Ripple. Listen, I'll tell you what I hope for, that the SEC just walks away from this and takes the outcome of this case without reaching a settlement. The fine is paid by Ripple. Okay, let's go. That sounds like the ideal situation, but I'm not interested. And the reason for that is that liquidity operations are reliant on rippling in that particular court case. According to the judge, the securities offerings are prohibited. They returned for a second visit. A few tweaks and modifications were made. The judge didn't appear overly pleased with their recent actions, which involved a shakeup in their use of XRP in payment flows. They need to make a lot of changes, in my opinion. This is something I'd prefer not get into. I'd like not to dwell on it too much. If a settlement does occur, I expect all parties involved to be able to see and understand it in plain English. The cryptocurrency XRP might not benefit much from that, in my opinion. Ripple, the business, stands to gain a lot from a settlement if it clarifies their legal obligations. While this might be fantastic news for the SEC, I think XRP investors would be better off if the deadline simply sailed by without any additional developments. Binance was the target of an updated SEC complaint. Once again, this is AI's evaluation. The SEC has been reticent to explicitly clarify that it is not referring to the cryptocurrency asset as a security, but rather to the investment contract. This is now clarified by the wording tweak. Their case against Ripple was successful because of how the company packaged and marketed XRP in accordance with specific contractual agreements. Now they're focusing on the sales practice of the corporate finance in this matter. These are offers of securities. Attempting to replicate that success in this exchange is likely to be their next move. All three cases, Ripple versus Binance and the SEC's amended complaint, are compatible with this legal framework. It is more prudent to avoid classifying the coin as a security and instead concentrate on how the Howey test is applied to individual transactions and sales methods. The majority of these major cryptocurrency assets are neither debt securities nor shares in any company. The SEC faces an uphill battle in its quest to alter the course of events. Yes, that's precisely this situation. Implications for the SEC's strategy regarding Ripple from artificial intelligence are ongoing. This, then, lessens the necessity of an appeal. The SEC can maintain cohesion in its regulatory approach by accepting the initial ruling rather than wasting resources on an appeal that may or may not succeed. To avoid setting a negative precedent and guarantee compliance with the offering and sale of digital assets, the SEC can strategically concentrate on their sales procedures. Again, the SEC's resource allocation might suffer greatly if they pursue an appeal. They will not, of course, waste resources on a case that is unlikely to succeed and could even get worse for them. Clarity in regulations. It is tolerated by them. A definitive ruling was granted to Gary Gunther by the judge. We may lose, but we're going to let the courts decide today, he stated at the opening. Wouldn't you agree that that's essentially what transpired? Furthermore, in each of these instances, it improves its legal standing. Once again, XRP wasn't the security in the Ripple case, but the company did violate securities laws. They may likely achieve greater success by applying that principle to the way these exchanges function. Although there is a great deal of analysis here, over many pages, the gist is that accepting the verdict and moving on is likely the best option. The SEC is likely to do this. Until then, we'll just have to watch. The SEC's decision-making process isn't flawless, as is well known. Looking at what happened in the Ripple case, though, we can see that a judge ruled in their favor, which should provide us some insight into how the law is applied to this area. They were hit with a hefty sum of $120.5 million in penalties and fines. Not everything was a failure. I believe they will accept it as it was a lawful response, even though it wasn't what they wanted. Again, we'll just have to wait. Even though our appeal won't have much of an impact on XRP, we'd rather not bring this up again. Eventually, your black rocks and gray talents will find it much easier. The incorporation of XRP and its investment products into traditional finance is going to be quite prevalent next year. Here's hoping we avoid any legal complications. As a leading cryptocurrency, XRP is entitled to take part in all of that. In my opinion, it will be really beneficial. Even if appeals do not result in delistings, they nevertheless reduce value because to the additional risk and protracted litigation that ensues. It's bad. Hopefully, we can now move on from this. From all appearances, it is. It appears that the SEC's recent shift in focus and other court proceedings are in line with the Ripple and XRP rulings. However, I haven't seen many people mentioning this. Someone tells me it's not wrong that a settlement can be reached at any moment, even after a final verdict, so I'm getting the creeps about the possibility of a settlement. Once again, they choose to do nothing as we sail on, and that decision has ripples as it pays the price. Which one is it? We'll find out. The viewer's presence here is greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching my channel and for subscribing. I will see you later.